Hello everyone and welcome. It's better late than never. I'm Mike and this is Mike's After Action Reviews, and this is the fourth quarter action update for 2024. So guys, as I said in the beginning, it is better late than never. I know this one is coming out much later than it should have, so it should have come out January, late January, maybe the beginning of February, and it is the 20th at the time of recording this, 20th of February. The reason that the beginning of the year, kind of end of the year action updates take so long is because I map out the rest of the year, so being that this is kind of the end of last year, beginning of this year, we're going to do our standard stuff, in case you missed it, what I'm currently working on, then are moving forward. But moving forward is going to have our whole plan for 2025. So watch out for that. And yeah, so I really appreciate you guys being here, watching the video. I know that this is going to be a long one because of all of the information we're going to have in it. So please go down below and use the timestamps to skip ahead to whatever you want to hear about, whether it be new releases or what we've currently got going on with the channel. We put out a bunch of different videos. We've got the reviews, we've got the action updates, we've got the trailer reactions. Every Friday at 6 o'clock. Come check it out live on Twitch and YouTube. And so it's a lot of work. It takes a lot of time. This action update in particular, I went through the whole year, did a bunch of research on a bunch of upcoming titles. So like I said, I do appreciate all of your support. So starting off, guys, in case you missed it. So reviews from last quarter. So this is covering, since our last action update, we've had Frostpunk 2 rapid action review with Tommy Boy. He's been doing more reviews on his own rapid action review, so check that out. So we've got Astrobot, the after action review. Go check it out. Venom, the Last Dance after action review, another one with Tommy Boy. And then in January, we had Empire of the Ants after action review, and the Indiana Jones and the Great Circle rapid action review, another one from Tommy. It's great to see Tommy taking a little bit more of an active role and doing some of that stuff. I really appreciate the help, guys. If you would like to take a more active role instead of just being an audience member, you can send me an email at Mike at mikesafteractionreviews.com, and you can you could either be part of the videos as a guest, be part of the trailer reactions, do written reviews, all that great stuff. And if you are on any of our videos, if you are on the channel in any capacity, you will get an invite to the end of the year MAARs Summit. So check that out. And we also did do the MAARs Summit, which was in January. So going over the last, basically 2024 in movies and gaming and media, pop culture in general. We had some interesting topics that we talked about, and we had a bunch of different guys, so check that out. Also, go and check out our community posts. Vote for whether you like the youngs or the olds better. So just let us know. We also had some other videos. So in January, we did the State of the Sonyverse, the MCU and Disney, where I talked with Salty Skipper about Kraven the Hunter and what that means. So yes. Okay, so then we've got, let's go into something that everybody loves, at least in the shorts. We've got our last quarter releases. So here we go. This was for October through December. Just a second. Yeah, here we go. So I've got a lot of information, you guys, so bear with me as we move through it all. As I said, just a quick reminder to anybody, use the timestamps. So if you have things that you don't necessarily care so much for. So I'm going to put this up here. All right, so October. We start with the video games. As always, we're doing 2 video games, 2 movies from each month. So October was Dragon Ball Sparking Zero was released for the PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It were released on October 8th, 2024. It was developed by Spike Chunsoft and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. Its review scores from IGN, it got a 7 out of 10. The Gamer got a 9 out of 10. PC Gamer got an 80%. Metacritic gave it a Metascore of 81 and a user score of 8.5. Now, I do want to let you know, that basically is saying that IGN thinks that this game is nowhere near the quality of Dragon Age the Veilguard, which we'll get into in a little bit. So, IGN, I don't know. I put their reviews on here because they're consistent in putting out reviews, and also it's fun to be able to see how basically mediocre they tend to be with their reviews. Okay, so as far as the profitability, so from thegamer.com on November 7th, 2024, November 27, 2024, Dragon Ball Sparking Zero has already become the best-selling game in the series, the Budokai Tenkaichi series, by the way, in terms of lifetime US dollar sales. An impressive launch has seen Sparking Zero become the second best-selling game in October and the 4th best-selling game for the whole of 2024. It's also managed to become Bandai Namco's 3rd best-selling game in its entire history, trailing only Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring. So that seems like the Tenkaichi series is back, baby. And yeah, I think that everybody was quite satisfied with the game in its entirety. I loved the Budokai Tenkaichi games when I was a kid. It's great to see that they are, this next one has been, like our current year revival of the series, did pretty well. Okay, so then the other game that was released in October was Dragon Age the Veilguard, released on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and it was released on October 31st, 2024. So it was developed by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts. Reviews, so from IGN gave it a 9 out of 10, again, only giving Dragon Ball Sparking Zero a 7 out of 10. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10, and Metacritic gave it a Metascore of 82 and a user score of 3.9. So basically, everything that I've heard about this game has been negative. The combat being mediocre, the technical advancements being mediocre, and the story being worse than The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, so this has basically been part of the political battleground in our culture right now, kind of political, cultural battleground going on right now, and gamers do not want any part of it. There is a place for you to make arguments for your own ideology and culture, but video games is not that place. There's a difference between presenting different lifestyles, presenting different ideas, and overbearingly ham-fisted almost propaganda. Like you're really pushing an idea as being some kind of great thing and what you should be doing and what you should be in your life. Okay, so let's talk about the game's profitability. So from GamesRadar.com on January 22nd, 2025. So EA reveals in its new quarterly financial statement that Dragon Age the Veilguard underperformed sales expectations by 50% for the company's 2025 fiscal year third quarter. Dragon Age the Veilguard game director Corinne Bush, an 18-year veteran of EA, left the company voluntarily last week, not even 3 months after the release of the long-awaited sequel. Meanwhile, unsubstantiated rumors surfaced claiming EA was planning to shut down BioWare's Edmonton studio, although industry insiders, including Jeff Grubb, shut those rumors down. So basically, the lead developer left, the director, left, and that basically tells you that this was terrible and did not make, not only was it 50% of its the expectation, but then the game director leaving basically means that it probably cost much more than what it made. So, yeah. And then we have BioWare Edmonton studio rumored to be shutting down, although that has been denied by industry insiders, so we'll have to see how that all goes. And then we also have from SeanDKnight.com on December 11th, 2024. According to an anonymous source speaking to YouTuber Smash JT, they revealed that Dragon Age The Veilguard has sold under 1.5 million total copies, that layoffs at BioWare might be coming, and an internal culture war is being waged behind doors. We've heard this about a lot of different companies, Disney being one, Marvel, Star Wars. Those are all movie production companies. But basically, a lot of game studios that have big names today have none of the people that built that brand. So a lot of people, BioWare, Bethesda, although Todd Howard did do Skyrim. But anyway, BioWare, Bethesda, a lot of these guys, all the people are gone. All the people that you would have liked, Blizzard, all those people are gone. And so when a new game comes out, that brand name does not necessarily mean quality anymore. Okay, so then we have Joker Filet Adieu as far as movies released in October. So, and it's great because the movies always have more easier to get numbers. So this is always entertaining. So let's check it out. Joker Filet Adieu. Whew, here we go. Released October 4th, 2024. It was, excuse me, it was from Warner Bros. And directed by Todd Phillips. So the reviews, here we go. So the reviews for this, Rotten Tomatoes, critics gave it a 28%. That's top critics. All critics gave it a 31%. From the audience, verified audience gave it a 31%, and all audiences gave it a 33%. Basically, whenever the reviews align between audiences and critics, that's when you're like, ooh, man, not only is this bad as far as a viewing experience, even the critics didn't like it in their, usually they give higher review scores for different esoteric, cultural, just whatever impact or what, the artsy stuff that viewers basically don't care about. IMDb gave it a 5.2 out of 10, and Metacritic gave it a Metascore of 45 and a user score of 4.3. So basically all across the board, critics and audiences are saying that this movie sucked. So as far as its profitability, so from Variety.com on October 14th, 2024, Joker 2 cost $200 million to produce and roughly $100 million to market and distribute. And then, so then from BoxOfficeMojo.com, domestically it made $58 million, internationally it made $149 million, and worldwide worldwide that leads to a box office of $207 million. As always, when I talk about the box office numbers and stuff, I'm not going to give you the $287 that it made at the end. It's just $58 million. That's what you're getting. So, as always, I will remind everybody that basically, in order to make its money back, they always say twice the production budget. And you don't have to include marketing in that. That's what it's said in the past, kind of been the standard for what it is. So twice its production budget, it would have needed $400 million to be considered profit, a success in any way. And the first movie made $1 billion and was highly acclaimed. There was some controversy around it, but again, that's culture war stuff that audiences don't care about. But it made $1 billion. It was an R-rated movie. It was a huge success and highly acclaimed. Here, this movie did not even barely made back its production value and did not make back its production and marketing value. So this was a terrible failure. Terrible. And nobody liked it. So there you go. Okay, so then moving on. Venom: The Last Dance. Again, we did a review of this. It was a great movie. It was a good movie. Great. You'll have to go find out what we really thought about it in the review, so go check that out. Released on October 25th, 2024. It was originally supposed to release on November 8th, but it got pushed back. So the production company was Sony, and the director was Kelly Marcel. So as far as the review scores, from Rotten Tomatoes, the top critics gave it a 40%. All critics gave it a 40%. The audiences, verified audiences, gave it an 80%, and all audiences gave it a 75%. Go with the audiences, guys. IMDb gave it a 6 out of 10, and Metacritic had a Metascore of 41 and a user score of 5.8. So kind of, I would probably say, think about combining like the all audiences score and the user score for Metacritic. You get about a 6 out of 10. And I think that objectively, I can see where audiences reach that point. If you want to know our Tommy Boy and my subjective reviews for it, go check out the review. Okay, so then talking about profitability. So from Variety.com on October 27th, 2024, Venom 3 carries a $120 million price tag, not including worldwide promotional efforts. So from Box Office Mojo, domestically it made $139 million, internationally it made $339 million, leaving a worldwide box office of $478 million, which means that it doubled the amount of money that it would have to be profitable. It would have needed $240 million, and it made double that with $478. So that is great. I'm glad to see that it made a lot of money because while I think objectively it wasn't like some great masterpiece of a movie, it was fun and it capped off the trilogy in a way that I think was satisfying, while also introducing some new aspects to the Sonyverse that could be then rolled into the Marvel universe. We'll see how that works out. The kind of partnership between Marvel and Sony on the Spider-Man stuff can be tenuous. Okay, so that was October. So let's move into November. So we had Mario and Luigi Brothership released on the Nintendo Switch on November 7th, 2024. It was developed by Acquire and published by Nintendo. As far as the review score, so IGN gave it a 5 out of 10, GameSpot gave it a 6 out of 10, Metacritic came in with a Metascore of 77 and a user score of 7.9. As far as profitability, from ShackNews.com on February 4th, 2025. By the way, this is another reason why these action updates take so long, because we didn't get these numbers until February. So just think about that. With the company's latest financial quarter coming to a close, Nintendo has provided the first official sales figures for the game. Mario and Luigi Brothership has sold 1.8 million units since its release. Now, we talked about how Dragon Age: The Veilguard sold less than 1.5 million, and that was considered a huge failure. And then this game sold 1.8 million. Getting the production budgets of these games is harder, so you basically can't really rely on anybody to have those accurate numbers. But 1.84 million can still be, as far as copies, can still be a huge success for a game like this, because it was on the Switch and it wasn't as high profile as Dragon Age: The Veilguard, so it probably cost a lot less depending on the number of developers. Again, the Switch technology, and I know that Mario is a high profile character, but it's not like BioWare promoting all of this stuff and all the big budgets. BioWare and these big production companies are so bloated. And Nintendo, my understanding is that Nintendo really does a better job of reining that stuff in. Okay, so then our second game, Empire of the Ants. I played this one. It released on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. It was released on November 7, 2024, developed by Tower 5 and published by Microids. So, IGN gave it a 3 out of 10, Metascore was 77, user score was 8.4, and then Steam, the recent reviews were 78%, and all reviews were 74% at the time that I checked. So, excuse me. So, IGN is the outlier here, and I really trust them a lot less. They're very corporate, okay? Excuse me. But the Metascore being 77, user score being 84, basically aligns user and critic reviews. And then recent reviews and all reviews on Steam kind of, again, give it a picture of a positive review score. So I played it. You can go check out my thoughts on it, but I'll tell you, I think it's worth playing. and without revealing what I really think, I'd say yeah. So I'd say at least one thumb way up. It's a fun little game that kind of goes back to an old RTS game that I played called Sacrifice. So if you're into games like that, go check it out. If you like RTS, go check it out if you like ants. The graphical quality that they put into the game really makes it an interesting experience. So, so on profitability. So from steamcharts.com. This is the only thing that worries me about this game, but again, it's a smaller studio, so it's kind of hit or miss on how accurate this is as far as its success. But from steamcharts.com on February 11th, 2025, you have a 24-hour peak of 26 at the time. This was February 11th, and then an all-time peak of 1,092. So it didn't have a huge amount of legs. Only 26 people were playing it at the time within that 24-hour period, and all-time peak was 1,000 players playing it altogether. You've got to think that's probably what, like $20,000 to $30,000. Well, no, I think it wasn't. How much was it? It wasn't a $20 game. Well, I'm just saying, even if it was $100,000, that's still a small amount of money for it to make. Maybe it sold better on PS5, Xbox Series X and S. I don't know, but it is difficult to find those things. So it may have been a success, it may not, but that's how many people were playing it on Steam that I could find. Okay, so then moving on. Red 1 released on November 10th, 2024. It was produced by Warner Bros. And directed by Jake Kasdan. The reviews for it were as follows. So Rotten Tomatoes. Top critics gave it a 22%. All critics gave it a 30%. Verified audience, 90%. All audiences, 81%. Again, guys, go with the critics. I saw this movie. I did not do a review, but I can tell you, I thought it was a good holiday family fun kind of action comedy. It was pretty good. IMDb 6.3 out of 10 and Metascore of 34 with a user score of 57. So think like audiences, all audiences. So think like 80%, and then kind of average that out with the Metacritic user score and IMDb of about 6 out of 10. So probably hitting it, again, I didn't do a review, didn't really collect my thoughts on this, but probably hitting about a 70 for users. Critics probably hated it just because it didn't have some social or cultural message, which tends to be the pattern. I can't wait until that goes away so we can get actually good reviews from critics. Or maybe they'll just crash and burn and we'll never get good reviews from critics again because they'll all disappear. Okay, so as far as its profitability. So from Variety.com on November 17, 2024, the production cost was estimated at $250 million. That's a lot of money for a Santa Claus story, says David A. Gross, who runs the movie consulting firm Franchise Entertainment Research. From BoxOfficeMojo.com, you have a domestic of 97 million, internationally 88, and a worldwide of 185. So, did not make back its production budget, was not profitable, probably not going to get a sequel or anything, any kind of offshoot from it. I thought it was a good movie. There are no more VHS sales, like home sales, so that's unfortunate, but I think it was a good movie. I do. Yeah. Okay, so then moving on to our second movie for November, Gladiator 2, released on November 22nd, 2024 from Paramount Pictures and directed by Ridley Scott. So, Rotten Tomatoes, top critics, 65%, all critics 71%. Audiences, 82%, all for verified audience, all audiences was 71%. IMDb gave it a 6.6 out of 10. Metacritic gave it a Metascore of 64 and user score of 5.3. Now, as far as the reviews, I've heard basically nothing good, like nothing great. When I average that with the audience scores that are basically lining up with critics, probably I would say like a mediocre. Like not a great movie, like an average, maybe above average, slightly because of the production value and stuff. There's that interesting scene that I keep hearing about with the baboons where the CGI was terrible. I don't know. Yeah, so that's what I got. Let's check out profitability. From Variety.com on November 4th, 2024, Gladiator 2 also carries a massive budget, more than $250 million to produce and roughly $100 million to promote. From BoxOfficeMojo.com, domestically it made $172 million. Internationally, $289 million, leaving a worldwide box office of $461 million. Okay, so again, it needed basically double $250 million to be profitable, so $500 million. It did not cross that line. No more sequels for this. Was not a financial success. Now, I will say this. When you have a low box office, that means a lot of people did not even see the movie, so you have a smaller sample size, which can drive the review scores up, because the people that will have gone and seen it were probably kind of kind of partial to liking it as they were going into the movie anyway. Yeah, so that's that. Didn't make enough money. Wait for it to go to Prime or something, or end up on Netflix for free. Or what is it, Paramount Plus? Yeah. Okay, so then let's move on to December. So for games, we had Indiana Jones and the Great Circle released on PC and Xbox Series X and S. Again, Tommy Boy did a review, did a good job. Rapid action review, go check it out. It released on December 9th, 2024. It was developed by Machine Games and published by Bethesda Softworks. As far as reviews, IGN gave it a 9 out of 10. GameSpot gave it a 9 out of 10. Got a meta score of 86 and a user score of 8.3. So basically all lining up, this was a great game. Yeah, go check it out. It was a great game. All right. So, as far as profitability from IGN on January 29th, 2025, during today's Q2 investors call, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella revealed that Indiana Jones and the Great Circle has reached 4 million players. In an otherwise ho-hum earnings report for its gaming division, a bright spot appears to be Machine Games' newest release, which has garnered critical acclaim, multiple awards, and now millions of players. While sales numbers are hard to pin down, given its availability on Xbox Game Pass, 4 million is still an impressive number of players, considering not many people knew exactly what to expect in a modern AAA Indiana Jones game. So, some of those 4 million, maybe even a large percentage, probably got the game on Game Pass. Stuff like that being released on Game Pass is basically required for Game Pass to be successful, though. I'm not sure about how many sales were on the PC or, other platforms, as like other sales numbers for like Steam or Good Old Games. It did not sell on PlayStation. It's interesting because if Xbox would have sold a game like this on the PlayStation, it would have made more money. So I don't get why more companies don't do that. Why, like, exclusives is what actually is killing these companies. If you don't understand that concept, go watch the movie A Beautiful Mind. There's a great mathematical concept basically developed in that movie, because it's based on a real person, developed by the guy who's in that movie, that basically says, do not become in competition with each other, work together and you can make more money. So imagine if all games were released on all platforms with licensing agreements, you can make a huge amount of money that way. But still, 4 million players, very impressive. Even if half of those were bought without Game Pass, that's still a great number. All right, so we did that one. But then we also did, so that was Tommy Boy, but I played a game in December, and I loved it. Go check out my review for Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver 1 and 2 Remastered, released on the PS5, Switch, Xbox, and PC. So, released December 10th. The production companies were Aspyr and Crystal Dynamics, and it was also published by Aspyr. Games Hub gave it a 4 out of 5. GameSpot gave it an 8 out of 10. From Metacritic, you have a Metascore of 77 and a user score of 7.8. As far as profitability, now this was a smaller title. It was a remaster of a very old game that kind of breathed some life again into the... breathed some life back into the coalition of people who want a sequel to the Legacy of Kain Defiance game. But basically, this is considered one of the best vampire, dark, gothic, story-driven games ever. So, like, the best gothic, dark gothic game. One of the best vampire games. It's really, really impressive what they did with the storytelling in this game. Okay, so, but it is a smaller title, and this is a remaster. It means lower budget. I will tell you, I ordered the limited release limited release games? Limited run. The limited run physical copy that comes with a bunch of awesome, excellent stuff, like a little statuette and a coffin with, and a little, replica of the Soul Reaver. Yeah. So anyway, my point is that profitability is hard to pin down because you don't know how much the game cost. Remasters cost a lot less. But as far as just what the numbers I could get, which was basically nothing, from SteamCharts.com on February 11th, I got that it was a 24-hour peak at that time of 110 players, and the all-time peak was 2,818. So not a huge number of players. It didn't get millions of players or anything, but it's a great game. Again, I think that the sentiment for a sequel to this game series is high. I think what they should do is probably do a prequel. It would be cool for them to do a prequel where you play through the vampire war that takes place, because there is a war between humans and vampires that's just never, it's not talked about. It would be cool, though, for that to happen in a game. Let us play as Raziel as a vampire. So, anyway, if you don't know who those people are, you never played the game, please, guys, go check it out. You can get remasters of or re-releases anyway, of every single one of the games in the series except for the first game. That's okay. Go check it out. It's really good storytelling. But, alright. Or maybe you can get the first game too, I just don't. Blood Omen. Go check them out. It's a great franchise. Okay, so, Kraven the Hunter. I did a review of that one. Oh, I didn't put that on the list of... I did do Kraven the Hunter review, so go check it out. December 13th is when it released. It was supposed to be August 30th, but it was pushed back in 2024. So it was released by Sony and directed by J.C. Chandler. Review scores. So the top critics gave it a 16%. All critics gave it a 16%. Verified audiences, this is Rotten Tomatoes, by the way, 74%, and all audiences 68%. IMDb gave it a 5.4 out of 10. Metacritic gave it a Metascore of 35 and a user score of 4.6. I'm leaning more towards the IMDb and Metascore. Audiences basically average the verified and all audiences on Rotten Tomatoes with the user score and the IMDb score. You kind of get, you kind of get where it falls. I don't think that Morbius was terribly bad either. It wasn't great. It's kind of like a sci-fi movie. Okay, something you'd see on TV. Kraven the Hunter would be your average everyday movie, action movie, if it just wasn't Kraven, like if it was just some assassin or something. But yeah, you can find all of my thoughts on my review. Go check it out. Okay, so as far as profitability, from ScreenRant.com on December 8th, 2024, the budget for Kraven the Hunter has been contested by various outlets. However, it is thought to be close to $110 million. And then from BoxOfficeMojo.com, domestically it made $25 million. Internationally, it made $36 million, leaving a worldwide box office of $61 million. Basically, just barely scraping by half of its production budget. That is a massive loss, and has probably ended the Sonyverse movies where they have all of these villains without Spider-Man, who is their hero. They should be doing Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland that aren't necessarily connected to the MCU as a whole, which would be fine for them to do. They don't need the MCU. They don't need it. Like they could have the MCU existing with Tom Holland Spider-Man, but they could also just be making their own money and their own movies with the Sony Spider-Man being its own thing. All right, so then our last title here for 2024 was Sonic the Hedgehog 3, released on December 20th, 2024, coming at us from Paramount Pictures and having been directed by Jeff Fowler. Rotten Tomato score. So all critics gave it an 85. Verified audiences gave it... there was no top critics review score for this. So verified audiences was 95%. All audiences was 95%. IMDb gave it a 7 out of 10. And it had a Metascore of 5.56 and a user score of 8.6. That Metascore is an outlier. Basically, I think this was like the perfect family movie. Go check it out. It's really good. if you haven't seen it yet. Just a fun, good time for kids and family and adults alike, who like adults who liked Sonic as a kid, playing the games. Even if you didn't, if you're not some jerk, there's all these people who are just such jerks, and they can't handle the idea of having a little bit of fun and like non-serious fun. Just have fun. So, and it's funny because my dad, who's hugely into movies, is very like. He was in the Army, Sergeant Major for 22 years, and he watches movies like this and has a good time. But people just have this stick up their butt, and they can't get past the fact that it's an animated thing or something that's supposed to be quote unquote for kids. But anyway, as far as its profitability, let's check it out. So from ScreenRant.com on January 17th, 2025, this third installment of the Sonic the Hedgehog movie franchise was released December 20th, 2024 in the United States, and has so far grossed $386 million against a production budget of $133 million. So January 17th, December 20th, that's basically 3 weeks, 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks, and it made a huge amount of money. Let's check out its totals from boxofficemojo.com. Domestically, it made $234 million. Internationally, it made $243 million, leaving a box office worldwide total of $478 million. Huge success. Huge success. 4 times its production budget. That is great. I really love the fact that Jim Carrey came back one last time. I don't know if you guys knew this, but Jim Carrey basically said, if a perfect, I'm retiring, but if a perfect script came down from heaven and a light shined down from heaven and a script floated down, and as it did, cherubim angels, sang, melodic hymns, and the script was written in golden ink, I would come back for a movie like that. Okay, after that, it was like a year later, it was announced that he was coming back for Sonic the Hedgehog 3. Probably for his grandkids, but it's really cool to see people have loyalty to the character. We'll see. No spoilers. Just we'll see what happens in the future with Jim Carrey and the movies going forward. But otherwise, that is what I've got for the last quarter releases. So if you enjoy that, make sure to like, subscribe, share the video, all of that good stuff. Let me know so that way we can do more with keeping track of box office numbers. So, okay, let's check it out. What I'm currently working on. So we're doing a thing where we're changing the way that we do movie reviews. Basically, we're going to roll we always have, production, acting, characters, and story. Production, story, characters, acting, and then our final review scores. We're going to change that. So it's just going to be production, characters, our production, story, characters, and then our final review score. And the reason that is because part of the production is going to, characters and acting is going to be rolled into production. And we think that that's going to, just by not segmenting it off, it's going to make it so that way we can get through the movie reviews faster and not lower quality. Just try to get them to be a little bit shorter so that way it's a little easier for people to watch them. We know that we do get a little long in the tooth sometimes. I think that we do quality reviews. I just want to make it a little bit more expedited, so it's easier for people to get through. And we're also been doing more consistent After Action report releases. So go to the website mikesafteractionreviews.com. You can sign up to be on our email list every time that one of those After Action reports, which are basically our written reviews for movies and video games and whatever. Once one of those goes live, you will get an email and you can go check it out. Email alerts. Please, guys, support us. If you want to contact us, you can contact us there too. We have a bunch of our all of our videos are tracked on the website as well. It'd be great to see you over there. All right, so then moving forward, let's talk about this. So as always, we've got the giveaways. We're always looking for new people to help us, so make sure, if you're at all interested in writing reviews, I have a template. It's like 5 paragraphs, 3 to 4 sentences per paragraph. Take about 20 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 20, depending on the movie or video game or whatever. It'd be great to have you guys do that. That's kind of a paid thing. I offer some money to people who do that, so let me know. Send me an email. Again, mike@mikesafteractionreviews.com. And then we're going to be doing more non-review or trailer reaction videos. So with Stephen Russell, he asked me about doing something with Kraven the Hunter. I had already been doing some stuff as far as with the review, and I said, hey, we can't do that. exactly, but what would you think of doing something else? And we talked about just the Sonyverse as a whole. And that was really fun. And I would like to do that more, where we just talk about a topic. Maybe once a month I could find a topic and I would have a guest or just myself talk about it and release that. And we'll see how you guys like that. So if you like that kind of stuff, let me know in the comments of this video. Leave a thumbs up on those videos when they come up. And then let's talk about it. So a big part of the Q4, the fourth quarter action updates, is our kind of plans for the next year. So we're going to talk about the 2025 releases. Some of this is news. Some of this is a plan for the channel. We're talking about things that are coming out and kind of things that we're going to try to take a look at as we go throughout the year. So it's already February. So we've got that, being understood here, but then this is kind of going to be a plan moving forward, and then we will keep you updated on any changes that we find. And as we go forward, the action updates are going to get shorter because we're going to have less and less future releases for the year. Okay, so let's check it out. So in January, we had Dynasty Warriors Origins coming out for the PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X. That was released on the 17th of January from Omega Force as the developer and published by Koei, K-O-E-I, so I'm saying Koei Tecmo. Let me know if I spelled that or pronounced that wrong. We also had Donkey Kong Country Returns HD on the Switch, which released on the 16th of January. It was developed by Retro Studios and Forever Entertainment SA and published by Nintendo of America. We had, for movies, we had Companion, which I'm actually really sad I didn't get to watch this. I'll watch it at some point and maybe do an after-action report where I write about it, okay? But the release date for that was January 31st. It was coming at us from Boulder Light Pictures, New Line Cinema, and Vertigo Entertainment, and directed by Drew Hancock. Then we also had Wolf Man, which was released on January 17th. It was produced by Blumhouse Productions and Universal Pictures, and it was directed by Leigh, L-E-I-G-H, Whannell. And that's another one that I've really got to go see. I've been really busy with end of the year, the MAARS Summit, the end of the year meeting with my business, MAARS Media. We had the this action update I've been working on, movie reviews, video game reviews, a bunch of different stuff, all kind of coalescing together, and it's made me really late in getting things out. But I'm going to have to see it and do an after-action report of that as well. But basically, it's the Wolfman story, a story of werewolf, Wolfman, and it had some really great ideas presented in the trailer. So I'm actually excited to eventually be able to see that and possibly do a review. All right, so then moving into February, current month, we had Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, released on the PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. It was released on February 4th. Developed by Warhorse Studios and published by Deep Silver. I am playing that currently. I'm going to do a live stream probably today. I'm loving the game. It's very good. I liked the first one. There are improvements to combat that make the game launching much farther than the first one, in my opinion. I played 90 hours of the first one, and the combat was I didn't like the combat. Okay, so then Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Released on PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S on February 21st it's releasing. So at the time, it's the 20th, and it's releasing tomorrow. So it is developed by Ryuga Gotaku Studio. I'm sorry for pronouncing that wrong. And published by Sega. All right, so for movies, Captain America Brave New World, released on February 14th. I went and saw it. I'm going to do a review this weekend with Other Mike. It is from Marvel Studios and directed by Julius Ona. All right, then we have Riff Raff. It's releasing on February 25th, coming at us from Canopy Media Partners, Signature Films, and Capstone Studios, and directed by Dito Montiel. It looks pretty cool. It has Bill Murray and a couple of other it's got Stifler's mom in it. It's got some really good actors in it. So go check that one out. Okay, then we have March. So in March, we have Split Fiction coming out on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. I really want to play this one. It releases March 6th, developed by Hazelight Studios and published by Electronic Arts. It is going to be great. Then we have Assassin. I just go check out my trailer reactions or go check out the trailers for Split Fiction. It looks like it's going to be great. Then we have Assassin's Creed Shadows coming out for PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and it is releasing on March 20th, developed by Ubisoft Quebec and being published by Ubisoft. I am not excited about this one. There's a huge amount of controversy, again, getting into the culture war that is currently going on, not just in the United States, but in the world as a whole, and gamers do not want to be a part of it, and neither do I. So I'm not so much interested. Maybe I can get Tommy Boy to play at least 8 hours of it, and then he can do a review, like a rapid action review. Okay, then we've got Mickey 17, release date of March 7th. I want to see this really, really badly. It's got, I'm having early onset dementia attack here because I cannot remember the guy from Twilight. Robert Pattinson. He has really shown his range recently with the Batman, and now with this, it's just, he's a really great actor. Okay, so coming at us from Kate Street Picture Company and Warner Bros. Pictures and being directed by Bong Joon-ho. Okay, so I'm excited for that one. Then we have the much anticipated, and not for any of the right reasons, Snow White. And we definitely want to do a review of this one. It's coming out on March 21st from Walt Disney Pictures, and it's going to be directed by Mark Webb. And I can't wait for this one to crash and burn. It basically has already been marked. It has been marked. Time is up. You're a marked man, Jack Sparrow. Yeah, nobody is. Rachel Zegler is a jerk, and that really, I mean, there's some other things that people have pointed out that I don't think the people really would have been a problem when it released, as far as its numbers and everything. There's things that people like. There's small criticisms that people have that even they, as giving the criticism, don't care about. But what people really care about is that Rachel Zegler is a jerk. So there you go. Okay, then moving into April, though, we have Claire Obscure, Expedition 33, PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. That's releasing on April 24th. And here's the deal. Actually, that is goofy. So if you check out, we have Split Fiction, March 6th. I mean, we're basically going to have a little bit of a gap between when I'm going to finish, most likely going to finish Split Fiction, and when the next video game is going to be coming out. So we might see what we can do as far as a short game or something that I can do, or an old game that I could do on some kind of rapid action review or something. But okay, so that's coming out, 24th. It's being developed by Sandfall Interactive and published by Kepler Interactive. Then we have a re-release of Days Gone. It's coming out for the PS5. It is that's going to be on April 25th. It's developed by Bend Studios and published by Sony. My understanding is that basically when the game came out, it was considered kind of mediocre, but it has now kind of gained a cult following, and a lot of people have said, please revisit this. It actually is a good game. It got too much hate. Basically, my understanding, what I've gathered over the years, is that it is like The Last of Us 2 on a motorcycle. Yeah. Okay, so then as far as movies, we have the Minecraft. It's just Minecraft, okay, but it is Minecraft movie, okay? It is releasing on April 4th, so as you know, it's got Jack Black in it. It's being produced by Legendary Pictures, Warner Bros. Pictures, and directed by Jared Hess. So then we have Until Dawn releasing on April 25th, coming at us from Coin Operated and Sony Pictures releasing, and being directed by David F. Sandberg. Now, I've seen the trailers for this. It doesn't look like it's going to be really exactly true to the game, but it does, from the trailer, it looks like it's going to be a really interesting spin-off, a really interesting use of kind of the Groundhog Day formula. Die, relive the same day over again, die, relive the same day over again. And I think it might work. I don't think that video game fans are really going to be exactly satisfied, but I think that if you like movies, if you're into the Groundhog Day formula, that might just be what you're kind of looking for in a movie. Okay, so then let's move on to May. Here's a big one that I'm very excited for. Doom: The Dark Ages, coming out for PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S, and it's releasing on May 15th. It's being developed by id Software and published by Bethesda Softworks. Cannot wait to play that one. They told me that the narrative is actually going to be in the game instead of in the codex, which is definitely something that I'm interested in. Okay, then we have Dune Awakening, coming out on PlayStation 5, Xbox One, Xbox Series X and S, Linux, Microsoft Windows. It is releasing on May 20th for PC, and there is no date for the consoles at this time, being developed and published by Funcom. We've got not the Thunderbolts. We've got Thunderbolts. Bring me more Thunderbolts. Anyway, if you've seen the Hercules animated movie, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, so Thunderbolts is being released May 2nd and produced by Marvel Studios and Walt Disney Studios Motion Pictures, and it is being directed by Jake Schreier, and I want to go see that one. Obviously, that is one that we are for sure going to go see, but then alongside of that one, we've also got another movie that I would like to go see, and that is Final Destination Bloodlines. It's releasing May 16th and being produced by New Line Cinema and Warner Bros. Pictures and directed by Zach Lipovsky and Adam Stein. Okay, then moving into June, we've got Inazuma 11 Victory Road for PS4, PS5, PC, and mobile. By the way, guys, if there's any movies or games that I've missed that you're like, oh, that should have been included in this month or that month, please let me know, because I look these up and it's hard to determine what is the biggest, most anticipated games for every month of the year, especially because once I find out about games, I stop following them so that way I can get a genuine reaction to them. Fallout 76 was a great one because I didn't know that there wasn't NPCs. I was really like, what is going on here? Okay, so Inazuma 11 Victory Road, okay, all that. It's releasing in June. We don't know when. It's being developed by and published by Level 5. Then we have Friday Night at Freddy's. Five Nights at Freddy's, Secret of the Mimic. It's releasing June 13th and being developed and published by Steel Wool Studios. Okay, then we have Ballerina. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, wait, is this the movie I think it is? Or what? Because the title's different. So the title is not, like, different. It's Ballerina, but on everything you see it's from the world of John Wick. Ballerina, or Ballerina from the world of John Wick. So kind of like how they had Mad Max Fury Road and then a Mad Max Saga Furiosa. But with this one, they just went with Ballerina. So the official title is just Ballerina, which is from John Wick. So that is coming at us on June 6th. From Quad Films and being directed... Quad Films and Lionsgate Films and being directed by Len Weissman. Okay, then we've got How to Train Your Dragon. By the way, I want to go see Ballerina. I don't know, again, bear with me when it comes to doing 2 movie reviews a month because I am very busy all the time. So then we've got How to Train Your Dragon releasing on June 13th. I'm for sure going to see this one because it's got Gerard Butler, and I liked the animated movie. So, so coming at us from DreamWorks Animation and Universal Pictures and being directed by Dean Dubois. Okay, then we've got July. Now, July, I don't have any game releases at this time that are like big releases that I'm even interested in any way. Even if I wouldn't play them, there's nothing. Let me know what you think if you have one that's going to release in July you want to highlight. So, Jurassic World Rebirth, though, is the first movie we're going to cover. It's releasing July 2nd, and it stars Scarlett Johansson. I'm definitely going to see it. It looks really good. It's coming at us from Amblin Entertainment Universal Pictures, and being directed by Gareth Edwards. We've got the big one that I'm probably most anticipating for this year is Superman. It's July 11th. It's coming at us from Warner Bros. And being directed by Richard Donner, and it's going to kick off the new DCEU under not Zack Snyder. Oh my god, now I can't remember that guy's name because, again, early onset dementia, but that guy, Guardians of the Galaxy guy. And I'm excited. It's going to be good. So, other than that, we've got Fantastic Four First Steps, releasing on July 25th. Coming at us from Marvel Studios and directed by Matt Shakman. Hopefully Marvel can start turning things around because the movies have been sucking so far. And maybe this could be, maybe this is Fantastic Four, the first steps into a better Marvel. Again, a Marvel revival, something. I don't know. We'll find out when it gets here. Okay, and I'm definitely going to see that one too. Okay, so then we got Metal Gear. So for August, we got Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater coming at us on PS5, PC, and Xbox Series X and S. Its release date is August 28th, which is the day before my birthday. Being developed by Konami and developed and published by Konami. I played Snake Eater when I was a kid. This is a remaster. It's going to be a good time. I think this is going to be one that we definitely do. Okay, no second game release for August, and actually no movie releases yet for this year. So every quarter I will be looking up movie releases to fill in those slots that are empty, movie and video game releases. Okay, so then getting into September, we have Hell Is Us, releasing on the PC and PS5 on September 4th. It was developed by Rogue Factor and being published by Nacon. Nacon has surprised us recently. Like RoboCop Rogue City was a really great game, and it had no right to be as good as it was, but it came at us from Nacon, and they, surprisingly good. Not because of the publisher, just it didn't look like it was going to be so amazing, but it ended up being pretty good. Okay, so then Borderlands 4, PS5, PC, Xbox Series X and S. It's releasing on September 23rd. Developed by Gearbox Software and published by 2K. I have not played a Borderlands game since Borderlands 2. I did not like Borderlands 2 so much as I did the first one, so I put the game down and never came back. Not that the games are bad, it's just they weren't for me. There were things that I wanted in a Borderlands game that were in the first one. I wanted to be more like the first one. Yeah, so that's the thing. We do not have any movie releases yet. We will fill those in again as we move forward. If you have any that you want me to highlight in the next action update, let me know in the comments section down below. Okay, so then as far as video games for October, Directive 8020, a Dark Pictures game. PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. Now, it's coming at us on October 2nd, developed by Supermassive Games and also published by Supermassive Games. I haven't played any of the Dark Pictures anthology, but I saw this one and it looked really good. Looked really cool. I might play this one. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this. Do you have to have played any of the other Dark Pictures anthology games to play? Like, if I didn't play any of them and then I played one of them, do I need to play the other ones to understand what's going on? Let me know so I can understand what I gotta do. Okay, and then as far as movies, we've got Tron Ares. It's releasing on October 10th from Walt Disney Pictures and directed by Joachim, so maybe Joachim, Joachim Ronning. So Ronning, R-O with a slash through it, N-N-I-N-G. All right, so cool. I like the Tron movie. The last one wasn't, it wasn't great, but it was cool. There were aspects of it that were really cool. And it's like maybe you make a first movie and it's not so great. And then you make the second movie and it improves upon everything, and that's the big one that's awesome. Okay, and the same thing can be said for this next one. So let's check it out. Mortal Kombat 2. Being released on October 24th from New Line Cinema and Atomic Monster, being directed by Simon McQuoid. And here's the deal. The first one, not great, probably below average. I can't remember exactly what I gave it, but go check out the review. I did that with my old buddy Sam the Machine. Maybe that one was bad, and then so that way they could look at what they needed to do for the second one, and now the second one's going to be great. I don't know. In November, we did not have any game releases at this time, but we do have some interesting movie releases. I don't know how you feel about all of these remakes from Disney. I haven't liked them so much at all, but there is room for remakes of movies if they're done right. So we have Predator Badlands is not the remake, but it's just one coming up here. Predator Badlands releasing November 7th, coming at us from 20th Century Studios and going to be directed by Dan Trachtenberg. Let me know if you're excited for that, because I like the Predator movies. Yeah, I didn't see Prey, but I've liked the other Predator movies. So, I liked Alien vs. Predator. I did not like Alien vs. Predator 2. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. But the big one that I was talking about, a re-release, a remake of an older movie. The first one starred one of the greatest action movie stars that has ever lived. And the name of the movie is The Running Man, The Running Man, The Running Man. I don't know if you guys have seen the original with Arnold Schwarzenegger, but that was the thing. Like the guy said, well, you know, this is the game show, The Running Man, The Running Man, The Running Man. It was like a funny little thing that they had for the game show. But anyway, that is being released on November 7th. It is being produced by Genre Films and directed by Edgar Wright. I hope it's good. I really do. So for December, no game releases and only one movie release. So for movie releases, we've got Avatar, Fire and Ash being released on December 19th from 20th Century Studios and directed by James Cameron. All right, so that's what we've got for known movie and video game releases throughout the year. The list will be kind of ever changing as we move forward into the new months and things get delayed, things get announced, all of that. So